All right, and we get to verse 20 today in John. It's only got 21 verses. With him came Nicodemus, the man who had come to Jesus at night. He brought about 75 pounds of perfumed ointment. Wow. Made from myrrh and aloes. Following Jewish burial custom, they wrapped Jesus' body with spices and long sheets of linen cloth. The place of the crucifixion was near a garden where there was a new tomb never used before. So what's interesting is why was that Jewish custom there? Look what the result ends up being, because Jesus was going to be killed, going to be buried. This ritual was going to be followed. And so wouldn't you think that like slows down the decaying and smell and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. It's interesting. The place of the crucifixion was near a garden where there was a new tomb never used before. And so, because it was the day of preparation for the Jewish Passover, and since the tomb was close at hand, they laid Jesus there in that brand new untouched tomb. The resurrection early on Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb, found that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. She ran and found Simon Peter and the other disciples, one of whom Jesus loved, John, of course. She said, "They have taken the Lord's body out of the tomb. We don't know where they have put him." Peter and the other disciples started out for the tomb. They were both running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He stooped and looked in and saw the linen wrappings lying there on the floor, but he did not go in. Let me see. The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, to see if the stone taken away from the sepulchre. So I just want to kind of look at it in the King James. So they both ran together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre. And he, stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in. All right, let's continue on in Daniel, the very first chapter. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse," which comes to beans, basically, "to eat, and water to drink, and let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat." In other words, compare us both and see if we really are worse off. "And as thou seest, deal with thy servants." And he consented to them in this manner and proved them 10 days. So this was allowed to happen for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their training table king's food and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. So basically the beans and the water and other plant-based vegetables, more than likely. As for these children, and I'm sure they might have eaten, no, they probably did not eat meat because it was not kosher, so he didn't want to defile himself. As for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill and all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. So God gave them these tools. There is no free will. Now, at the end of the days, the king had said that he should bring them in, and the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before King Nebuchadnezzar, and the king communed with them. And among them was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. Get to the rest tomorrow. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.